This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. Tensions are rising between President Trump and Russia over Russian support for Syrian President Bashar Assad.
And that's why he gets drilled here. He slams the bat. Now he's making a move, and here he comes.
Longtime baseball rivals Boston Red Sox and the New York Yankees are back at it once again.
Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Londy Sagastume.
And I'm Kimberly Lopez.
President Trump is continuing to hint he has a plan to attack Syria. He criticized Russia's alliance with Syria on Twitter yesterday. Syrian President Bashar al-Assad is accused of using chemical weapons on his own civilians over the weekend. Human rights groups say as many as 70 people were killed, but the Syrian government denies those accusations. An international inspection team is due to arrive later this week. Although Trump is hinting he might retaliate against Syria, he also says he is still monitoring the situation.
We're looking very, very seriously, very closely at that whole situation, and we'll see what happens, folks. We'll see what happens. It's too bad that the world puts us in a position like that.
Trump tweeted this morning saying the potential attack could be very soon or not soon at all. He had previously criticized President Obama for announcing his attacks ahead of time.
House Speaker Paul Ryan has announced he will not seek re-election this year.
I am announcing that this year will be my last one as a member of the House.
Wisconsin Republican Ryan entered Congress when Bill Clinton was president. He was elected House Speaker 3 years ago, but says he wants to spend more time with his family.
I will be retiring in January, leaving this majority in good hands with what I believe is a very bright future.
Ryan adds to the near record number of seats turnovers in the U.S. House of Representatives. 55 representatives have announced they will not run for new terms. 38 of them are Republicans. Their decisions might make it hard for the GOP to hold onto the majority in the House. According to the Pew Research, this is the highest number of representatives not seeking re-election since 1992.
Former CIA Director Mike Pompeo is on Capitol Hill today for his confirmation hearing to become Secretary of State. Pompeo told senators he has been questioned by Special Counsel Robert Mueller, who's investigating the Trump administration's ties to Russia, but he did not get any more specific about that. Pompeo also answered questions about what he sees the role of the State Department and about U.S. policy toward Moscow.
President Trump takes to Twitter to praise Governor Brown for joining Guard border missions. He says Brown is doing the right thing. Brown did accept the White House proposal to send National Guard troops to the Mexican border, but he explicitly banned any support of the immigration enforcement. He says California troops will fight transnational criminal gangs and drug and gang smugglers. Immigration advocacy groups are saying Brown is boosting Trump's agenda with this decision. Republican officials are saying that his decision is good government. About 250 California National Guard troops are already participating, including 55 at the border.
The Associated Press is reporting the parent company of the National Enquirer paid $30,000 to a former doorman at one of President Trump's buildings before the 2016 election. He signed a contract to never speak about a rumor he'd heard that Trump had a child with an employee at the Trump Tower. Unless it was for a story in the Enquirer's parent company, American Media Inc., says it investigated the rumor but found it wasn't true and never published any story. Still, it raises the question whether information that could have hurt Trump's image during the campaign was silenced with money.
It's windy today in Northridge. Matador News reporter Jade Davis has more on the story.
We have a high wind advisory in Northridge that will remain in effect until Friday. Today, CSUN students say they are confused regarding the weather.
I honestly don't know how to feel about this. I hate it and I love it at the same time because I hate the heat.
I like the wind. The cold is cool. I don't really get cold, so it feels nice when I can just wear a t-shirt. But I don't like the heat. So like on Monday, it was way too hot.
It's windy out here. It's freaking freezing. I hate it out here. The tram took forever to get here.
Winds are up to 20 to 30 miles per hour, with gusts up to 45 miles per hour. These conditions can cause trees to come down, power outage, and a ton of property. We spoke to CSUN geography professor Amalie Orme, who says these strong winds are not uncommon during this time of the year.
The way this works is that air moves from high pressure to low pressure. So as the center of the low has moved towards Arizona, we have the following air that's moving in, replacing it. So we're looking at winds today that are primarily from the north-northwest. That's why it's a little bit cooler outside. We don't have the usual pattern of Santa Ana winds where we have accompanying warm temperatures.
Be sure to use extra caution when driving, as it could be a challenge with gusty winds. Now let's go back to Londy with more news.
SUV that's been found crashed in the Eel River in Northern California last week might belong to a missing family from Valencia. The family of 4, including 2 children, were on a road trip to Portland when their car reportedly flipped over into the river. First responders found the car submerged, but authorities were able to recover parts of the vehicle that determined the model and year of the car. The vehicle matches the description of the family's Honda, but Mendocino officials say it's going to be difficult to recover the vehicle because of the water temperature. A missing persons file was reported on Sunday.
LAX travelers can soon leave behind the long lines of traffic when arriving or leaving the airport. Soon in the sense of 10 years from now, maybe. Yesterday, the Los Angeles City Council unanimously approved a budget of up to near $5 billion to design buildings, operate, and maintain a mass transit system. The new train will carry passengers to and from the air terminals to 3 other main subway and bus stops. Officials say this new transportation system will alleviate the current massive traffic. The project is expected to begin March 2023 and be completed in time for the 2028 Olympics. But when it comes to safety, many commuters still don't feel safe when using public transportation. In LA, Metro officials report serious crimes on subways and buses have decreased 24% since more officers were assigned to patrol 9 months ago. They expect the crime rate will continue to decrease and hope commuters will feel safer.
Now, let's go to Anissa Pillai for the latest on health news.
Thanks, Londy. Immunotherapy, a personalized cancer vaccine, looks safe to researchers and may lengthen the lives of ovarian cancer patients. A small clinical trial shows significantly higher overall survival among patients who received the vaccine compared to those who did not. University of Pennsylvania researchers say the vaccine has potential to trigger and boost the immune system, leading to an increase in survival rates. A South Carolina bride is battling breast cancer, and she would not let anything get in the way of her wedding day. The couple, who met on the dating website Plenty of Fish, planned on getting married on their anniversary on March 24th. But doctors advised the bride, Lauren Long, to move up the wedding date when her cancer returned. The couple wanted to get married on their own terms and waited. The wedding took place just like they planned. Long says she does not ask for timelines. Instead, she asks for the next adventure. Her next dream is Italy for her 30th birthday next September. Now, let's go to Leslie Estrada in the newsroom with more on the recent research on night owls.
Thank you, Anissa. Night owls have a higher risk of dying sooner than those who go to sleep early. Researchers from Northwestern University say people who stay up late had a 10% greater risk of dying than the people who stayed up early. We asked CSUN students about their sleeping habits, and this is what they said.
I think so, yeah, because I think the less sleep you get, the more harm it does to your body. I know that when I'm sick, the more sleep I get, the better I feel, so.
I'm generally a night owl, but I do like early morning sometimes. I don't know if you can get diseases, but like from experience, getting 2 hours of sleep a night is really, really bad for you.
Since some people are more comfortable with staying up late and all that, personally it wouldn't work for me, but I think maybe in the long run it would affect you negatively, yeah.
Night owls also had a higher risk for conditions such as diabetes or psychological disorders. Although being a night owl sometimes isn't a choice, researchers want to test it to see if night owls can be converted to morning people and if their overall health improves. Now let's go with Chris Farias with more on business.
Spotify and Hulu are joining forces. A new bundle called Spotify Premium now lets Hulu and Spotify lets users enjoy both subscriptions for $12.99. Hulu costs $7.99 and Spotify costs $9.99 a month. This saves users $4.99 per month. Only current Spotify Premium members are eligible for this deal, but others can get this offer from April 11th till when it expires on May 10th. Safety first. Uber is tightening background checks for the drivers each year. The company is also investing in technology that can identify new criminal offenses or pending DUI charges. A safety center will also be dedicated within the app. This feature will allow users to call 911 and add emergency contacts. Later this month, Uber will begin offering peer-to-peer car rentals. Users will be able to rent car via Startup Getaround directly within the Uber app. Car owners will dedicate for how long they want their vehicle to be available to rent, or a few hours, or within a few days. Now let's go back to Anissa and the latest on sports.
The stars will align in Los Angeles. The Dodgers will host the 2020 All-Star Game for the first time since 1980. The announcement was made in a news conference before the Dodgers faced off against the Oakland Athletics. MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred says, as the 2017 World Series demonstrated, Dodger Stadium remains one of the game's classic ballparks and will be the perfect venue to showcase the very best in the league. The stars are not aligning so much for this year's Dodger team, who's having their worst start in years. They lost to the A's last night 16-6. The Los Angeles Kings were shut out by the Las Vegas Golden Knights 1-0 in Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. Both teams came out buzzing in Las Vegas's inaugural season, with a combined 127 hits. Golden Knights defenseman Shea Theodore scored the first playoff goal in Knights history, with the only goal of the game, beating out Jonathan Quick in the first period. The Kings nearly tied it in the second period on Dustin Brown's shot, but fell short. Game 2 of the Western Conference first round is on Monday at T-Mobile Arena. And back to baseball. Looking like hockey, the fuse has been lit between longtime rivals, the New York Yankees and Boston Red Sox. The Yankees' first baseman, Tyler Austin, rushed the mound after being hit by a pitch from Red Sox pitcher Joe Kelly. This triggered a bench-clearing brawl between the two teams. Yankees general manager Brian Cashman says with two teams going at it, stuff will happen. New York ended Boston's 9-game winning streak with a 10-7 win. Now let's go back to Chris with a wrap-up on entertainment.
It's a big week in entertainment. Pop singer Mariah Carey says for years she did not want to believe her bipolar diagnosis, but now she's very proud to share. Carey is finally getting therapy and the adequate medication. And the spotlight has not left the Kardashians, and this time it's on Khloe. Reality TV star's boyfriend Tristan Thompson was found kissing someone else, but now sources say it was all a distraction. Well, neither did Thompson have publicly commented on any of the reports. On a brighter note, Khloe was just announced that her baby girl was just born. Horror keeps making noises as A Quiet Place continues to hold the #1 spot on the box office. But will this new horror movie called Truth or Dare lead box office this weekend? Trapped in a deadly game, college friends discovered too late that their Mexican vacation was left them with a nasty infection. Instead of some flesh-eating virus, the game is a demon-driven death trap. The players are forced to tell the truth or dare in order to survive. In Bill Cosby's trial on sexual assault, prosecutors reveal Cosby paid former basketball player Andrea Constant $3.5 million as part of a civil settlement related to the alleged assault. Cosby did not admit any wrongdoing or any fault in the settlement. Shortly after the judge in the trial called for a lunch break, Shellen Lasha, another victim, interrupted them from the witness stand and said a very direct message to the defendant. "Do you remember, Mr. Cosby?" The comment was part of Lasha's emotional testimony about her 1988 encounter with Cosby when she was 17 years old. She says Cosby gave her drugs that knocked her out, allowing him to assault her in her room at the Las Vegas hotel where she worked. Now let's go back to Londy with the weather forecast.
Get your sweaters out because it's windy outside. In Northridge, the highs are 66 and the lows of 50 degrees. In the Los Angeles area, the highs are 70 and the lows are 54 degrees. Cooler weather is expected to arrive in the next few days with the highs of 80s for the weekend.
A North Carolina bar owner not only helped a customer find her stolen wallet, but completely changed a homeless thief's life. Jimmy Galeese took it upon himself to find an upset female customer's lost wallet containing a wedding ring inside. After watching hours of footage, he discovered that 17-year-old Rivers Prathers was the thief. Galeese got the thief to confess and got the wallet back with the ring, which had been thrown into the ocean. His compassion led him to adopt Prathers, who now lives with him and his wife. Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Kimberly Lopez.
I'm Londy Sagastume.
I'm Anissa Pillai.
And I'm Chris Farias.